ask you this question. Do you procrastinate? Raise your hand if you do. I think I'm going to be the first one. Let me give you an example. Earlier this year, my daughter came home from school and handed me the form from My Life Touch Photography, asking me to order her school pictures. I said, oh yeah, Mom, do it tomorrow. A week went by. The form was still on the table and no order was made. My daughter asked again, and I was, oh, so sorry, baby. I do it next week. I do it this week, sorry. Another week went by. Nothing was done. My daughter gave up and asked my husband. My husband looked at me. Mom, can you make sure this is done tomorrow? Finally, I managed to order them and have them home a week later. Here's the thing. We order school pictures every year, but why procrastinating this time? Was that because I forgot or because I unknowingly procrastinate? I think it's a combination of both. Let me share my screen. Do you see my screen? Perfect. Does the picture remind you of a situation where you felt stressful, thinking of having to complete a certain task, and kept delaying it by saying, I do it tomorrow, someday, one day, later another day, and that day never seemed to come, right? Back to my story earlier. Anytime I got caught procrastinating, I felt horribly bad about myself. Unfortunately, it happened quite a few times last year and earlier this year. So I tried to seek understanding why I have become my own worst enemy. So I reached out to my friend who's a coach on investment and an inspirational speaker. We chat about why people procrastinate and how to overcome it. So why and let me, sorry, my daughter comment, sorry. So why do we procrastinate? We tend to procrastinate on things that we are afraid to do because we think it's difficult or we don't know how to start or we are afraid to being judged or fail. So I found myself in this situation. For example, I found myself in this situation and when I had to start a new assignment at work. Depending on the task, I do sometimes delay getting started because I feel overwhelmed or I don't know how to start. Or we procrastinate on things that we don't want to do because we think it's no fun. Or we procrastinate because we keep waiting for the right mood and for the right time, thinking that it will help us complete the task effectively. Or we procrastinate to experience the thrill of the last minute rush. Somehow we think we do our best work or being the most productive during those final moments leading up to the deadline. Let me confess, when I was way younger, there was time I was this guy right here. And you know what? As I raced against the clock, I felt very thrilled. It felt really good. But oh my, it was very tense at the same time. And I could feel very tired after that. At my age right now, I dare not take that risk anymore. Or we procrastinate on the things that had no deadline. That means things that don't need to do right now yet. Or we procrastinate because we're too busy dealing with the other work, just because we don't have a system in place to help us get organized. I found myself in this category quite a few times. Sorry, my mouse. So back to my discussion with my friend. There are so many tips out there helping with stopping procrastination, but the one method that my friend suggested seemed to work quite well for me. We call it the brain dump. She suggested me to do this brain dump every now and then to sort out what needs to get done and deal with procrastination once and for all. So how do we do it? Step one, let's set an alarm for 20 minutes and write down everything that on your mind and do not store until the timer goes off. Step two, now this step is very important. You go through that list with a pen and a highlighter. For the things that are important and need to do now, highlight them and do it right away. And for the things that you can't do anything about or don't want to do it without causing any consequences, just let it go, cross it out. And for the things that you have to do, but not necessarily now, highlight them and transfer them to a sticky note and put them into a someday or eventually folder. And schedule in your calendar exactly when you will do it. Put a date and time right on that item and highlight it. Ideally, you should schedule at least 2 hours per week for these brain dump completions. If you are caught up, then that's your free time. Have fun. As simple as that. It's nothing brand new. It's just plain organizing and prioritizing your work and commitment. With the theme Ways to Relax today, I hope none of us choose to repose by procrastinating. In contrast, I encourage you to try this brain dump exercise occasionally and to give you real peace, real repose at the end of the day. And let me know how it works. So cheers to procrastination farewell and welcome productivity. Thank you. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.